Okay, let's have a quick refresher of paragraph 14C. 14C is otherwise known as, at least what I call it, the due diligence paragraph. And it allows for the purchaser to select either one of these two, either this paragraph is or is not applicable. So let's talk about it not being applicable. And if it's not applicable, then it doesn't matter. If 14C is not applicable, then you would revert back to whatever the obligations are under paragraph 14B in the submission of the repair addendum and the negotiation period. So let's talk about 14C as it may apply. And this has to do with purchasers' dissatisfaction with their inspection results. This paragraph contemplates what the purchaser does with that dissatisfaction. One choice the purchaser has, if they're dissatisfied, then they can terminate this contract by written notice to the seller prior to the inspection deadline, or as it may have been extended. So the important piece in that language is by written notice prior to the inspection deadline, or as it may have been extended. And so that's the critical part. And with that termination, the purchaser would be obligated to provide written evidence of inspections performed. Now, the written evidence should not include a copy of the inspection report. We'll get to that in just a minute. But the written evidence could be a receipt. It could be simply maybe an email from the purchaser's agent, I should say, that acknowledges that they've had these inspections, whatever you're comfortable with that meets what you believe to be the definition of written evidence. But it's going to be important that the purchaser actually have an inspection if they're going to terminate based on the results of the inspection. If the purchaser has these inspections and submits a repair addendum, then they waive their right to terminate pursuant to this paragraph. Now, as you know, we talked about in paragraph 14B, the purchaser will have a right to terminate if they can't come to a meeting of the minds on the repair request. But if they provide a repair addendum, then they cannot terminate until they work through the process that's outlined in paragraph 14B. And as in a lot of our provisions, if the purchaser terminates, then they would be entitled to their EMD back. And this is an important piece right here. Upon request by seller, purchaser will provide entire copies of any inspection reports. Only upon request by the seller. Some sellers will not want to know, and listing agents will not want to know what's on the inspection report. They would have to disclose those material adverse facts once they obtain actual knowledge, and they might not want them. Some sellers may say, look, if your inspector found it, a future inspector would find it, go ahead and send me those inspection reports. However, you do not automatically send them along to the seller. Okay, that's paragraph 14